This is the Kitchen Table War Story series, ground zero for the legendary tales of the mineral space.
And so I'm driving around town and putting my business cards in sugar packets and going to the gas stations and going to the banks and trying to meet these people. And I end up at I think it was a Tiger Tote down there in Karnes County. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to a guy who's checking out at the Tiger Tote and saying, hey, we're trying to buy minerals down here in the Eagle Ford. And if you have any connections or any people who might be interested in selling, please let me know. And so he's like, well, it's going to be pretty tough sledding down here. But he's like, I know of a guy who would probably be interested in selling his interest, and he's got a lot of minerals. And I was like, nice. Well, how do I get in touch with them? He's like, well, come back to this gas station around 9:00 at night on Thursday night. And so here I am. It's Wednesday, so I sleep in the back of my car in Karnes City. And later that night, I go to the back of this gas station at 9:00 at night, and here comes, 10 trucks to the back of this gas station, and they start barbecuing and host a poker tournament. And so I end up talking to this group of guys, and we're in the back of this gas station. It's like ratty chairs and probably rat infested, and they've got all these trifold posters out of magazines, taped to the walls, and people are smoking and dipping and playing poker. And I say, well, what's the buy-in? And they're like $500. So I put down $500 and we start playing poker. And I knew the guy's name from the guy in the gas station. He was like, be on the lookout for this guy, and you should try and sit next to him or play poker with him and get to know him. And so we start playing poker, and I'm like, hey, we're down here looking to buy minerals, and if any of you guys have any interest in us evaluating your properties, like, let me know. And he was like, well, I'm so-and-so, and I might be interested in looking at an offer. And I was like, well, if I end up beating you tonight, tell me your purchase price and see if I can get it done. And he was like, haha, I doubt you beat me. And we're playing Texas Hold'em, and it gets towards like the later part of the night. It's around 11 o'clock, and the cards get dealt, and I have an 8 and I have a queen, and they roll out the 3 cards, and it's a 2, a 9, and a jack. And so I have an 8 and a queen. So I double down, and then he matches me, and then I go all in, and I'm like, hey, let me know what you want for your minerals before I beat you. And he was like, he started laughing, and he looks across the table, and he goes, I want $50 million for my minerals. I was like, $50 million, and if I win, and he told me he's obligated to work with me to purchase his minerals. And so I'm starting to get pretty nervous. My heart's, pounding, and I go all in, and he goes all in. The next card rolls off, and it's a queen. And then the next card rolls off, and it's a king. And he ends up having nothing. So I won. And I think that, hey, he wants $50 million. He's going to entertain my offer. And I go back to Fort Worth, and I draft up the agreements and everything, and he ends up signing it. And I've got this $50 million deal under contract.
So how many minerals did he have?
He had 4,000 royalty acres. And so I was like, so what is this? What's this making a month? And he was like, $750,000 a month. I was like, oh my God, like this is a big deal. We get through the title, and we found this clause in this gift deed from his mother. So she grants all of her interest to him and his brother. And there's just one piece of the deed that ended up pretty much killing the deal. And it says, as a part of this conveyance, the grantees are only permitted to convey the interest herein conveyed to any individual who is related to grantees with any degree of consanguinity, meaning he can't technically sell his minerals unless it's of blood relation. I've never seen that before. So the deal ends up getting killed because he is actually unable to sell it because he can't sell it to anybody who's not of blood relation.
It's kind of a bummer. It's kind of like, oh, not all stories come with a good ending. Like I thought you took the deal.